If anyone can show a nation betrayed by Donald Trump how to defeat him, it is the city that gave rise to him. So Donald Trump, since I know you're watching, I have 4 words for you. Turn the volume up.
What does that mean?
Well, turn the volume up. That was the strangest thing I think I've ever heard, because it makes no sense. I don't know what he was referring to. I tell you what does make sense. Here in New York, 1% of the population pays 48% of the income tax. Capital goes where it's treated best. If he is going to pay for all these handouts by taxing the wealthy, people are going to leave. And it wouldn't take a lot to completely upset the balance of payments here in New York City, because, again, 1%. You antagonize a quarter of that 1%, and it all implodes.
Now we have an anti-American, anti-capitalist, anti-police candidate who just was elected to run the financial capital of the world, to run the largest police force in the country, the NYPD, of course. Mamdani is going to be responsible for an $150 billion budget, 300,000 employees, and over 30,000 police officers. So I had a pit in my stomach last night when I heard Times Square erupt in cheers and cars honking, and I wish the best for New York.
Rise of Mamdani should be it's a coming attraction of what is coming next. The Muslim communist that is running for mayor in New York City, who obviously there's a whole rabbit hole we can go down there. He just looks kind of be like central casting, and his ideas are terrible. He wants the city to run the grocery stores, all that. But I think everyone's kind of, not everyone, but most people are missing the point of really what this is. This is yet another distress signal by young people to say, hey, if you're not going to fix our life economically, we're going to get very radical politically.
Here we are. So the socialist, as Charlie said, Muslim communist will now be the mayor of New York City, the once great epicenter of capitalism, literally in the entire world. And here he is quoting socialist Eugene Debs during his acceptance speech last night.
Thank you, my friends. The sun may have set over our city this evening, but as Eugene Debs once said, I can see the dawn of a better day for humanity.
Who is Eugene Debs? They all applauded Eugene Debs. Eugene Victor Debs was an American socialist, political activist, trade unionist, one of the founding members of the Industrial Workers of the World, and 5-time candidate of the Socialist Party for America, President of the United States. So he's going all in on the socialist, communist stuff. We don't have to split hairs about it. We don't have to pretend or anything else. He went out of his way to open his acceptance speech with someone who ran for president 5 times as a socialist. Then he said one of the most ridiculous things I have ever heard a politician say.
We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about.
Oh, no problem too big for government to solve? Do we have a Ronald Reagan? Yeah.
I think you all know that I've always felt the 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
So do you see where we are at right now? And he was just a socialist communist. What he wants is the government to do everything. There is no problem the government can't fix. Nothing will be too big for the government. The government will have every bit of control of every part of your life. The bus you get on, the food that you eat, etc., etc. Ronald Reagan wisely, 40-ish years ago, was saying that the government is actually the impediment to freedom. But Zorhan never talks about freedom, right? He talks about control, but he does it in this sort of Pollyannish, what would you call it, rose glasses way, so that it sort of all sounds nice, but it actually is just, oh, we will get more money from some people to do what we want with it, and you will applaud until it all breaks down and you people are at each other's throats fighting over the last can of Goya beans. Here is Zorhan, and listen to the identity politics. Instead of this just being about New Yorkers. New Yorkers came together. Listen to the way they have whittled everybody down using identity politics.
Thank you to those so often forgotten by the politics of our city who made this movement their own. I speak of Yemeni bodega owners and Mexican abuelas, Senegalese taxi drivers and Uzbek nurses, Trinidadian line cooks and Ethiopian aunties. Yes, aunties.
Then, of course, he just plays into just all of the backwards things that these people have pushed on us, which is, well, you'll see in just a second, he talks about New York being a city of immigrants. And you're right, over the course of the last 100+ years, since about 1900 actually, New York City, mostly through Ellis Island, was a city of legal immigrants, people who came here with nothing, with only the hope and the promise that maybe their life could be better and they could pursue their happiness, and that capitalism would free them from whatever it is that they were fleeing. But here he is talking about the city that was built by immigrants now being led by an immigrant. The only problem is he hates the fucking country, but whatever.
New York will remain a city of immigrants, a city built by immigrants, powered by immigrants, and as of tonight, led by an immigrant. So hear me, President Trump, when I say this. To get to any of us, you will have to get through all of us.
Okay, first off, let me point out that you can start to see a little of his jihad coming through. You're going to hear more of the guttural blah. That's going to start coming through a little bit more and more over time, and the smile will start dissipating. The city was built by immigrants, but which immigrants built the city? Well, it was the immigrants that I just mentioned. It was the Italians, and it was the Irish, and it was the Greeks, and it was the Puerto Ricans, and it was the Jews, and several other groups. But again, you guys, your day is done in the city because you guys did it right. You paid taxes, you built families, you built communities, you built businesses. That has nothing to do with the future of New York City under this guy. So you are done now. And then, of course, he points out that, and now it will be led by an immigrant. Nobody cares. Well, first off, it shouldn't be led by an immigrant who came here 7 years ago with the only intent of destroying the city, who's making it clear that he's not going to follow federal law and who hates the very foundation of this country and the economic system we were built upon and everything else. But nobody cares that you're an immigrant per se. It's because you have all of the wrong ideas. So all these brain-dead morons, and that's what they are. They are applauding the end of their freedom and liberty, and good luck to all of you. This is not going to end well. Now I want to play a clip of Van Jones.
I think he missed an opportunity. I think the Mamdani that we saw on the campaign trail, who was a lot more calm, who was a lot warmer, who was a lot more embracing, was not present in that speech. I think his tone was sharp. I think he was using the microphone in a way that he was almost yelling. And that's not the Mamdani that we've seen on TikTok and the great interviews and stuff like that. So I felt like it was a little bit of a character switch here, where the warm, open, embracing guy that's close to working people was not on stage tonight, and there was some other voice on stage.
Like, does any of that surprise you? Are you surprised? What have I been saying for months? And it's not just me. He used the soft lens. He used the fake smile. He used the lo-fi music. It was all fake. Now he attained power and you're suddenly shocked that he switched tones? Well, wait till the full jihad tone kicks in, and then you will really be shocked. How are you a political analyst and not realize that this is exactly what's going on here? But the tone is shifting, and it's not just Zorhan. Here's AOC now coming out with what really this battle has been all about.
So many people who participated and were brought together by his campaign, because they were not just tasked with defeating a Republican. They were also tasked with defeating the old guard of the Democratic Party that essentially led us to many of the perils of this moment. So he had a two-front war to win. Which we have a future to plan for. We have a future to fight for. And we're either going to do that together or you're going to be left behind.
I'm sort of happy that she's saying all this. It finally has all burst forth. They are not pretending to not be radicals anymore. They're not pretending to be the old guard, decent but probably wrong on most stuff Democrats. They're not pretending to be liberals anymore. But now we don't have to pretend anymore, right? The revolution is here. You've destroyed the old guys. Chuck Schumer, you are screwed. The revolution is coming to eat all of you. Scott Jennings, I thought, had quite good analysis on what is going on here.
You know, I think I just want to offer condolences to Chuck Schumer. Honestly, what I'm reading here in New York City is that AOC is going to be the next senator from New York after she gets done whooping his rear end in the 2028 Democratic primary. And for his Senate races in 2026, I see the energy in the Democratic Party tonight behind a socialist, and I see the energy in Virginia, Democrats looking the other way on a violent candidate for Attorney General who says he wants to murder Republicans and their children. If you think you're getting rid of Graham Plattner in Maine now, think again. This is a terrible night for national Democratic image, given what is happening inside their party. Mamdani is an avowed socialist. It's not what people say that he is, it's what he says that he is. He's now the leader of their party. That's their energy, and Chuck Schumer's
He's the leader of the Democratic Party?
Let's swear. There is no. Who is the leader? Can someone tell me?
He's a life raft for Republicans who have to go on TV and get their asses kicked.
No. You own this. You own this now. You all own this now.
And in 2026, the Dems now have to run on the socialist platform, right? They took New York City. So how are you not going? How is any decent Democrat, whoever they might be, if there's another one besides Fetterman out there, how do you not then go in that direction? How do you run away from that? All of the energy's there, and AOC's telling you, we've got a revolution here, so get out of the way because we are here to take over. We will have more on some of the other races because they were equally, well, not equally as bad because I don't think they include the jihad portion at least yet, but they were quite terrible. We'll do that in just a second.
I want to issue a friendly warning to New Yorkers considering moving to Florida in light of recent events. First, we are digging a moat along Florida's border and putting alligators in it to separate ourselves from the others. Second, we're implementing a 1% entry tax, where your money will be put towards Florida's infrastructure. Third, if you're tired of the protesters in New York, you can plow right through them here. Next, and I know this is a culture shock, but we don't have porn in our elementary school libraries. And finally, we have no state income tax. But since you're generous liberals, feel free to donate whatever you like to Florida. Thank you for your attention to this matter.
If you enjoy this content, please consider subscribing to my channel to stay up to date with future videos. Thank you for watching.